video is for lessons 11 and 12 from the Basics of Keyboard Theory Level 1 by Julie Johnson. Lesson 11 has to do with time signature. So time signature usually come in two numbers, and I say usually because once in a while you can get a C or a C in the line in the middle, right? But other than that, you pretty much have two numbers. There's a top number. In this case, we will use 2. And there's a bottom number, 4. The bottom number is actually a fraction. So if we take this number, put it at the bottom of a fraction, and put a 1 on top, we get quarter. So 2, 4, basically, life would have been a lot easier if they just wrote it like this. There are 2 quarter notes per measure. So if you have a piece of music that the time signature is 2, 4, you're going to get the equivalent of 2 quarter notes per every single measure. It could be like this, it could be like that, it could be 4/8 notes, or any combination as long as it adds up to 2 quarter notes worth of time. You can even have a rest and a no. That's a quarter rest, so that's that. In this particular lesson, they talk about 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. So 2, 4 basically means there are 2 quarter notes per measure. 3, 4 means there are 3 quarter notes per measure. 4, 4 means there are 4 quarter notes per measure. Kind of like that. These 3 time signatures sound different. They don't all sound the same. So 2, 4, happen to have this music around, so I'll use it as an example. It's The Crab by Villa Lopez. Sorry. So this sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a slight accent. I mean, he even marked it this way on the first count of each measure. I mean, even if he didn't intentionally specifically mark it, we would do it that way too, because there's a stress on the first count. Okay, then for things that are in 3, 4, there is a stress on the first count also. I think I'll just use Bach Minuet, that's quite popular as an example. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's a stress on the first count of each measure. And 4, 4 in this book is saying in 4, 4, the first beat of each measure is strongest. The third beat is also a strong beat, but not as strong as beat 1. It came up to my mind that I could play the Over the Rainbow somewhere. Okay. You can sort of hear. So if it's 4, 4 time, you get a stress on the first beat and a little bit on the third beat. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that chapter is basically that. And the next one, it has a bunch of terms that you're supposed to know, I think. Oh, here. Okay. first one you're supposed to know is slur. It's a curved line that goes over the notes. That means things are connected. So obviously, that would have slur over it to tell us to connect. And phrase is, they use like a slur kind of mark to show us where the sentences are. Because in music, it's not like words that we have punctuation marks, right? So we would know where the end of sentence is. Music, sometimes because there are no punctuation marks, the composers want to let us know exactly how long the phrase is. They would just mark the slur marks. Staccato, play short and snappy. I mean, of course, some staccatos are longer, some staccatos are shorter, but it's definitely not connected. Repeat sign. This is a forward repeat sign. It's a backward repeat sign. So if you get to here, you go back to this sign and play. But if you don't see this and you're at some point in the piece, that means you have to go back all the way to the beginning. Okay. But with this, you just go back to this. Fermata. Fermata, you have to hold it no longer. And then people ask me how long. Well, if there really was how long, they would have wrote it, right? So we have some freedom in how long we hold it. But if you really need a number, I'll say twice as long. But honestly, it's to make a point. Let's see. I can't think of some piece that I can use an example right now. Let's see. If I get lucky. There might be one there, but I don't know. It's just enough to make a point. Hold on, let me grab something very quickly. Beethoven. What? Oh, found it, sorry. The Eroka variation, because there is definitely one that I know it's there, but where is it on the page? Okay, found it. So there's a fermata at the beginning. Let it die, so it doesn't have to be exactly how many counts, right? So just it repeats. I'm not going to repeat right now. There's another fermata, so just kind of let the sound die. So it's something that gives you like that holding over feeling. Okay. Octave higher, octave lower sign. If it's higher, so octave higher, lower sign. If it's higher, it goes one octave higher. If it's lower, it goes one octave lower. Tenuto is like this. It's not like legato where it's connected. Accent. There could be rhythmic accent or expressive accent. So what a rhythmic accent is like, I think this would have in it. Yeah. I'm thinking about the Prokofiev, but I have to find the book. Wait a minute. Oh, here. Page 39. So he wrote an accent here, and he also wrote it at the end of the first line of the D. So those are rhythmic accent. Expressive accent. I mean, they look the same, so you kind of have to determine what it is yourself, but because they look the same. So hammer it too hard because I think it's so there was an accent here, but I didn't want to harsh it into it. Like that's too much. It has to be warmer. Another accent here. Another one. So then those are a bunch of accents, and you're supposed to know pedal markings. It could look like PED, like in cursive, or you could have like brackets. And when you see a triangle, then you're supposed to lift and change. A tempo, going back to original tempo. So if you have a retard, then generally you will get a tempo afterwards. So I just thought of something that I could use as example. This is the Bartok Finale from his sonatine. Or is it called sonatina? Or sonatina, sorry. So here he has. So the original tempo is like this. He puts a retard, so he starts slowing down. Sorry. And he puts sostenuto to stay, but you don't have to know sostenuto right now. And he wants us to accelerate. And you go back to a tempo. Tempo 1. Tempo 1 and tempo I think are the same thing to me. Then there's Staccato Fine. You play to the end, you go all the way back, and you go to the finish. Like so. Fine is finished. I think by now you would know what forte, mezzo forte, celesta, fortissimo is even louder than forte. So I guess I need to play louder. And then piano is soft. Mezzo piano is louder than piano. So it goes piano, mezzo forte, forte. Pianissimo, where you have two P's, is even softer than piano. This gets louder, right? The mouth is opening up, mouth is closing, gets softer. All these things are called dynamics. They have to do with volume. And with articulation, that has to do with how the things are connected or disconnected. So that's pretty much all there's for these two chapters.